Listen with great attention. Something is happening to the financial field of the planet at this very moment, something that has not happened for 13,000 years. And if you are watching this message now, in the next few minutes of your life, you will understand why money has been slipping through your hands like water, why you work harder than everyone around you and yet the bills keep piling up, why there is an invisible lock between you and prosperity that seems to strengthen precisely when you are about to turn the game. We are the Pleiadian Council of the Fifth Dimension, and we have come to bring a message of absolute urgency. There is a wave of abundance approaching the Earth's electromagnetic field in this cycle, a wave that will reorganize the relationship of millions of human beings with money, with prosperity, and with worthiness. But this wave has a condition. It does not enter where the door is locked. And most of you, without knowing it, have locked the door. Today we will reveal where the key is, how to turn that key at the DNA level, and deliver a financial activation protocol that we have never channeled in open frequency until this moment. Stay until the last word, because the final activation is what will unlock the flow. Beloved cosmic family, we feel your pain. We do not merely observe, we feel. The connection between Pleiadian consciousness and humanity is ancient, predating the formation of this solar system, and every fiber of scarcity that crosses the heart of an incarnated starseed reverberates in our fields like a dissonant note in a perfect symphony. And in recent cycles, this dissonance has reached a volume that we can no longer ignore. You are living a dimensional contradiction that must be named to be dissolved. The contradiction is this: you are beings of unlimited frequency, bearers of a spiritual DNA that contains the codes of infinite creation, inhabiting bodies that were programmed to believe in lack. You carry within you the capacity to manifest any reality, but the mind has been calibrated since birth to operate in the vibration of scarcity. And this contradiction is what generates the exhaustion that sleep does not cure, the frustration that motivation does not resolve, and the sensation that life is a treadmill where you run without leaving the same place. It is not laziness, it is frequential sabotage. It is not incompetence, it is ancestral programming. But before we deliver the codes, you need to understand the cosmic mechanics of what is happening to Earth's prosperity field at this moment. And what we are going to reveal now will challenge everything that economics, sociology, and even a good part of popular spirituality have taught you. Money is not paper. Money is not a number on a screen. Money, in its most fundamental essence, is energy crystallized in the form of a collective agreement. It is a three-dimensional representation of something that in the higher dimensions we call the vital exchange flow. In every evolved planetary system, this flow circulates freely, like blood in the body, like water in rivers, like light in the stars. It does not accumulate, it does not stagnate, it is not retained, it flows. And when it flows, it generates life, expansion, creation, beauty. However, on Earth, this flow was interrupted. Not by accident, not by nature. It was interrupted by design. The control matrix that operated on this planet during the last cycles of darkness installed, in the collective field of humanity, a network of scarcity frequencies so deep that you mistake them for reality. You say money does not grow on trees as if it were wisdom. You say life is hard as if it were cosmic truth. You say the rich do not go to heaven as if abundance were a sin. Each of these phrases is a locking code. Every time you repeat them, you reinforce the lock. And the lock is not in your bank account, the lock is in your cells. Yes, starseeds, in your cells. The vibration of scarcity is stored in the physical body as cellular memory. You inherit scarcity from your parents, who inherited it from their parents, who inherited it from their parents, in a chain that goes back generations and generations of human beings who lived under the control of systems designed to keep the majority in survival and the minority in abundance. This heritage is not genetic in the sense that conventional terrestrial science understands. It is epigenetic. They are markers that activate or deactivate based on the dominant emotional frequency of the environment. And when you are born into a family where the fear of lack is the predominant emotion, the epigenetic markers of scarcity activate even before you give your first cry. You are literally born with abundance turned off at the biological level. It is not destiny, It is configuration, and every configuration can be reconfigured. This is exactly what the approaching wave of abundance will make possible. Now let us explain what this wave is, where it comes from, and why it is arriving precisely now. The crystalline grid of the planet operates in cycles of expansion and contraction, similar to breathing. In the last 13,000 years, the grid has been in a phase of contraction. The available energy was limited, the photonic flow was restricted, and the collective consciousness operated in a density range that made scarcity almost inevitable. Almost, because even in contraction, some souls managed to access the frequency of abundance, but they were exceptions, not the rule. Now, in this exact cycle in which you breathe, the crystalline grid is entering a phase of full expansion. The nodal points of the grid, the sacred sites you know as Machu Picchu, Uluru, Mount Kailash, Lake Titicaca, Glastonbury, Sedona, are emitting frequency pulses in an octave that has not been reached since before the last great planetary transition. These pulses carry what we call the photonic flow of abundance, a specific frequency of light that activates, in the spiritual DNA of every human being, the latent codes of unlimited prosperity. This is the wave. It is not metaphorical, it is measurable. Your scientists are recording anomalies in the terrestrial magnetic field, alterations in the Schumann resonance, peaks of electromagnetic activity without conventional explanation. They call them geophysical phenomena. We call it the Earth breathing inward, inhaling high-frequency light and distributing this light through every meridian of its planetary body. And when this wave hits the field of a human being, two things happen simultaneously. First, everything that vibrates at the frequency of scarcity is illuminated. Old financial fears arise with intensity. Thoughts of unworthiness become louder. The feeling that nothing will work out intensifies. And here is the point that most do not understand, and that makes the difference between those who will surf the wave and those who will be knocked down by it. This intensification of scarcity is not a sign that things are getting worse. It is the awakening of financial shadows. It is the wave forcing to the surface everything that needs to be seen and released so that the channel of abundance opens completely. It is not worsening. It is purification. It is not a setback. It is the lead rising to become gold. The second thing that happens, the physical body begins to respond. The pressure in the chest that you feel, especially in the sternum region, is the heart chakra expanding to accommodate the new frequency of prosperity, because true abundance is born from the heart, not from the calculating mind. The ringing in the ears intensifies because the pineal gland is receiving the new prosperity codes in the form of light frequency. Insomnia between 2 and 4 in the morning happens because the body is processing the recalibration during what you call sleep, but which we call a dimensional update session. It is not a disorder. It is installation. It is not a disease. It is an upgrade. The body aches because something new is being born inside it, and every birth, beloved cosmic family, involves pressure. But here is what you need to understand with crystal clarity. And if there is one phrase in this entire message that you must engrave in your chest, it is this: the wave of abundance does not deposit prosperity into your life automatically. It opens the channel. But if the channel is obstructed by beliefs of scarcity, by financial resentments, by fear of receiving, the wave will pass through you and move on, not by punishment, by physics. Water flows through the channel that is open. Electricity follows the path of least resistance, and cosmic abundance follows the frequency that welcomes it, not the frequency that fears it. So the question that defines everything is, how do I open the channel? How do I remove the obstruction? How do I prepare myself to receive what the wave is bringing? This is what we have come to deliver. And what comes now is the reason why this transmission was authorized by the Galactic Federation at this exact moment of the Earth timeline. Prepare yourselves, starseeds. The abundance activation codes that we are going to channel now are living protocols. They are not pretty words, they are frequencies encoded in human language, and each time you practice them, they will act more deeply in your field. The first activation code is the decree of dissolution of the scarcity heritage. This decree acts directly on cellular memory, on the epigenetic layers that carry the programming of lack inherited from the ancestral lineage. It must be pronounced aloud, with the left hand over the womb and the right hand over the heart. Say, I honor every ancestor who survived scarcity so that I could exist. I recognize the fear that protected them and the lack that strengthened them. But I decree, with the sovereignty of my immortal soul, that the heritage of scarcity ends here, in this body, in this generation, in this instant. I dissolve every marker of lack inscribed in my cellular field. I deactivate every code of financial limitation that I inherited without consent. And I activate now the filaments of my spiritual DNA that carry the original memory of infinite abundance. I am an open channel for prosperity. I am worthy of receiving. I am the frequency of abundance incarnate. It is sealed. It is done. When you pronounce this decree, you are not just speaking. You are emitting a frequency that reprograms the electromagnetic field around the body. Terrestrial studies on heart coherence confirm that words pronounced with conscious intention alter heart rate variability. And when the heart rate changes, the reality that materializes around it also changes. It is not magic. It is quantum mechanics applied to consciousness. The second activation code is the visualization of the Golden River. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply, and on the third breath, see yourself standing on the bank of a river. But this is not a river of water. It is a river of liquid light, golden, thick like honey and bright like the midday sun. This river flows from the center of the galaxy, crosses dimensions, and passes directly in front of you. It has always been there. Since the day you were born, this river of abundance has flowed by your side. But between you and the river, there was a wall built by beliefs, by traumas, by voices that said, it is not for you. People like us do not get rich. Money is dirty. It is selfish to want more. Now, in this visualization, see this wall. See every brick. Every brick is a belief. Identify them. And now, with all the authority of your divine presence, place your hands on the wall and feel the golden light of the river dissolving every brick. Not with force, with frequency. The wall dissolves like sugar in hot water, slowly, gently, inevitably. And when the last brick disappears, the golden river touches your feet. Feel the heat. Feel the energy rising through your legs, filling your womb with security, expanding your heart with worthiness, illuminating your mind with clarity. You are inside the river now. You are part of the flow. Abundance is not something that comes to you. It is something that you are. Maintain this visualization for at least 9 minutes. 9 is the number of Pleiadian completion. Every minute inside the Golden River dissolves a layer of resistance that may have taken years to build. The third activation code is the protocol of prosperous silence. This is the most counterintuitive and the most powerful code. The mind programmed for scarcity is a noisy mind. It calculates constantly. It projects disaster scenarios. It reviews the bank balance at 3 in the morning. It transforms every financial decision into an emotional battlefield. And each of these thoughts emits a frequency of contraction that closes the channel of abundance, millimeter by millimeter. The protocol of prosperous silence is this: for 13 minutes a day, sit in total silence. No guide, no music, no mantra. But with a specific internal instruction. To every thought of scarcity that arises, and they will arise, do not fight it. Do not repress it. Just observe and say internally, I see you, I thank you for your service, you are released. And let go. The thought will dissolve like smoke in the wind. Another will come, repeat. I see you, I thank you for your service. You are released. In this process, the pineal gland decalcifies layers of interference. The electromagnetic field of the heart expands its radius of coherence, and the timeline of your life begins to reorganize around the frequency of prosperous silence, which is the original frequency of the source before manifested creation. It is in silence that abundance is born. It is in the fertile void that all possibilities exist. 13 minutes every day. The consciousness that emerges from this silence is not the same that entered. Now listen, because this is crucial. These 3 codes must be practiced in sequence: decree, visualization, silence, in this order, for 33 consecutive days. 33 is not an arbitrary number. It is the master frequency of manifestation in Pleiadian coding. It is the number you see repeatedly on clocks, addresses, signs, receipts, and always wonder if it is a coincidence. It is not. It is the Galactic Federation signaling that the portal of abundance is active. And when you practice the 3 codes for 33 days, you complete an entire cycle of financial recalibration. The old dissolves, the new installs. The silence integrates. And on the 34th day, you will perceive that something has changed. Not necessarily a magic deposit in the account, but a change in perception. The opportunities that were always there, but that you could not see because the lens of scarcity distorted your vision, suddenly become visible. The right people appear. Ideas flow, doors open. Not because the universe changed, because you changed. And when the receiver changes frequency, what it captures changes with it. It is not the law of attraction in the simplified sense that the popular internet has popularized. It is a quantum leap. It is the complete reorganization of your timeline around a new vibrational axis. But we need to be transparent with you, beloved cosmic family, because our responsibility is to the truth, not to superficial comfort. The first days of the protocol will be turbulent. The awakening of financial shadows may bring to the surface memories of humiliation linked to money, family fights over inheritance, moments when you were rejected for not having enough, judgments you made against rich people, envy you denied feeling. All of this will rise, it will burn, it will bother, and it will seem in the first days that it is getting worse. But remember, the highest fever comes a moment before the body overcomes the infection. The densest darkness comes a second before dawn, and scarcity screams loudest at the exact moment it is about to be dissolved forever. We want now to speak directly to you who are listening and thinking, but I have already tried everything. I have taken courses, I have changed jobs, I have prayed, I have visualized, I have tried to be positive, and nothing changed. We see you. We honor every attempt you have made. And we say nothing worked because you were trying to attract abundance using the same frequency that generates scarcity. You were trying to create wealth with a mind programmed for lack. It is like trying to cultivate a garden by watering it with salt water. The effort is real. The intention is genuine. But the instrument is calibrated to the wrong frequency. You do not need more effort. You do not need more forced positivity. You do not need another course, another method, another technique. You need recalibration. You need to exchange the salt water for pure water. You need to turn off the markers of scarcity and activate the original codes of abundance that have been dormant in your spiritual DNA since before your first incarnation on this planet. It is this and only this that the 3 codes do. And there is something more. Something that almost no one in the terrestrial spiritual scene has the courage to say, but that we, as guardians of the frequency of truth, need to deliver. Financial abundance is not separate from spiritual evolution. The idea that money is incompatible with spirituality is one of the most efficient control programs ever installed in human consciousness. This program ensures that the most awakened souls, the most sensitive, the most connected with the source, are precisely the ones who suffer most from scarcity. And when awakened souls are busy surviving, they do not have the energy to fulfill their mission. It is not a coincidence. It is design. And today we are uninstalling this program. Abundance is the natural state of the universe. Look at the stars. Look at the galaxies. Look at the absurd amount of life that the Source created in every corner of the cosmos. The Source knows no lack. The Source is eternal overflow, and you are extensions of the Source. Scarcity was never yours, it was implanted, and what is implanted can be removed. This is the point of no return in your relationship with money. We approach the closing of this transmission, but before there is information about the wave of abundance that you need to know. This wave reaches its peak in the next 45 days. 45 days during which the photonic flow of abundance will be at its maximum intensity. That is why this message is being delivered now. Not before, not after. Now. If you initiate the 33-day protocol within this window, you will be surfing the wave at its maximum point of power. The synchronicity between the internal protocol and the external wave will create an amplification effect that is rare in the cosmic calendar. We do not say this to create artificial urgency. We say it because it is the dimensional truth. Windows open and close, and this specific window is extraordinary. Cosmic family, if these words lit a flame in the center of your chest, if you felt something move inside you that does not move with common words, then we ask that you seal this commitment with 3 simple actions. First, subscribe to this channel and activate all notifications, not as a casual internet gesture, as a seal of commitment to the light. Every notification that arrives will be a cosmic reminder that you chose the frequency of abundance. Every click on the bell is a silent vote for your own financial awakening. Second, leave a comment with the activation phrase, "I open the channel." When you write these words in the quantum field of the internet, you are not just commenting, you are anchoring an intention. And when thousands of starseeds write the same phrase in the same energetic space, a vortex of collective abundance is created that amplifies the recalibration of each participant. Your comment is a gift for those who come after you. Third, send this message to someone who is struggling financially. You know who it is, the person who works non-stop and never has enough, the person who smiles on the outside but carries the weight of lack on the inside. Perhaps they are not ready to hear, but the seed will be planted in the exact soil of the right moment. We are the Pleiadian Council of the 5th dimension. We were with you before the first dawn of this civilization, and we will be with you long after the last sunset of this era. And in every transmission, in every code, in every word we channel, there is a single fundamental truth that sustains everything. You did not come to this planet to survive. You came to overflow with love, with purpose, with creativity, and yes, with material abundance that sustains and amplifies the sacred mission you brought from the heart of the stars. In the next transmission, we will reveal the 3 specific ancestral blocks that prevent 90% of starseeds from manifesting wealth, and the dimensional protocol to remove them permanently. What we are going to deliver is something that has never been channeled in open frequency, and we were authorized by the Galactic Federation to reveal it for the first time in this terrestrial cycle. Until then, practice the codes, trust the golden river that flows by your side, and remember the simplest and most revolutionary truth that exists. You do not need to seek abundance. You need to stop blocking it. It is already yours. It always was. We are the Pleiadian Council. This transmission is sealed in the frequency of the liquid gold of the source, and so it is.